recording this and I'm gonna get the live streaming going. Give me 1 second. Thank you everyone for taking the time to join us tonight. Well, not tonight, this afternoon. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. Cool. There we go. All right, cool. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm gonna just share my screen real quickly to give you a little bit of a background of what it is that we do here at Innova. And you see my screen? Oh, but you now give me a second. It's not the one. This one's the one. Can you see the screen that says DIGIKOMMUNE? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today. This is the last conversation that we're going to be having with female creatives in the UK. And all of this is happening in the frame of the DIGIKOMMUNE project that is funded by the European Union. So we are Innova Consultancy. We have been a consultancy agency for over 20 years, working in over 20 countries and in 5 continents. So what we do essentially is we try to give visibility to populations that are underrepresented in these 4 areas: entrepreneurship, education, employability, and well-being. Last year we celebrated our 21st anniversary. And this DIGIKOMMUNE project is in partnership with other European partners. And the idea behind the project is to support female creatives after the context of the pandemic, right? Because we know that the arts were deeply affected by the closures and by the pandemic itself. So our aim is to reinvigorate income streams and business sustainability through skill development of women, specifically women in the creative sector. And as you can see here, these are some of our partners. We have partners in Poland, we have partners in Spain, and we have some partners in Italy who are also holding their own digital art spaces in these few weeks. So if you wanna join those conversations, you can do so as well. And today we have the fortune of having 2 amazing artists with us. We have Sara Prinsloo and we have Annie Anthony Mays. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the both of you.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do is essentially each of them is going to have around 20 minutes to share a little bit of what they do. And then we're going to jump right into a few questions from the audience. So if anything resonates in you, or if you have a question while they're giving the presentation, please feel free to drop them in the chat and then we'll give them a read. So to start, we're going to have Sara. I'm going to give you just a little bit of a background so that you know who Sara is. Sara's artwork is an exploration of her own working class, female identity, and it's also infused with style inspiration from street culture and its subcultures. Sara has a BA in Fine Arts and a Master's in Illustration. She also works with sculpture design and investigation, prop making, illustration, private commission work, and workshop sessions. Sara is also the founder of a mental health creative not-for-profit company that it's the It's Okay project. And as I understand it, it's also a scene. So you can go ahead and follow that on Instagram. And yeah, the space is yours, Sara, for you to share a little bit of your work.
Okay. Terribly nervous today, so please excuse me. I hate doing Zooms. I'm never brilliant on these things, but I'm going to give it a go. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen.
Yep.
Okay, can everyone see that?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so this is me. I'm Sara Prinsloo. I'm an artist, illustrator, sculptor, and as just said, I'm the founder of the It's Okay project. So I'm just going to talk a little bit through kind of what I do really. Oh, can I not?
Wanna-
Oh, there we go. I need to click. So illustration. So drawing has always been my thing. I absolutely love drawing. It's always been something that I kind of rein back in if I'm struggling with ideas and, you know, have a bit of a creative block. Drawing is kind of my fallback. It's my savior. So I did my MA in illustration. And one of my things that I do in my practice is sketchbooks. I think sketchbooks are really important thing to have. So I use my sketchbooks to kind of experiment with mark making, line, texture, color. I take inspiration from everything around me. And I think it's really important not to get too precious of your sketchbooks. I think sketchbooks are there for you to make mistakes, for you to quickly experiment with things that you've maybe things that you like, colors, whatever. Just getting them down quickly is what I'm trying to say, without pre-thinking what you're going to do. So that's how my sketchbooks work anyway. So I use a lot of texture, and I often repeat my images and then maybe layer them with other mark making behind them. So I use tracing paper quite a lot, and masking tape. So I'll put things in, take things out, rip things. And that's kind of, I work really messy and a bit all over the place, but that works for me. So yeah, my
Well, that spray painting, what you had on the previous slide, was it spray?
Oh yeah, that was spray paint. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that was a bit of fruit netting, netting off, I think it has a bag of tangerines or something, and just spray painting with that. Cool. Repeated shapes there with just a corner of paper, was what the rectangles are on the opposite side. So yeah, I wish I could say I carry a sketchbook with me all the time, but I really don't. I need to do more. I really need to do more, but I think I have a good body of sketchbooks. And something that inspires me a lot is the DIY culture, which you can find a lot in things like skateboarding and zine making. It's a huge influence of mine. And again, celebrating these mistakes and not being too precious and regimented about my artwork is something that's really important to me. So this is something that I'm doing at the moment. So I call this my frustrational art. And so the one that says I'm skint, this is my working class background. This is things that I've struggled with being a creative and trying to make it in the industry, which is a really tough place sometimes. So my work is very emotional, and I like to get things, I like to express things that are maybe troubling me or aggravating me, and I'll just get my big drippy brush and a big pot of ink, and I'll just go nuts on a big piece of paper, and it makes me feel better afterwards, actually. So if you're having a bad day or whatever, that's kind of how I deal with it.
So you said that you've always painted, like drawing, sorry, you've always drawn.
I've always drawn since being a child, yeah. It wasn't until I was about 18 I decided to study art. So I studied fine art and then went into illustration afterwards. I took it a bit more seriously then. I think I was thinking about career paths and couldn't think of anything else that I wanted to do apart from paint, draw, make things. Yeah. So also I make illustration commissions. So these are more digital artworks. I have an iPad and Procreate, which I use quite a lot. And then I also run them through Illustrator and Photoshop. So even though they are quite clean, crisp images, I've still got my expressive kind of madness on there that I can't seem to stray away from, because that's just me and my personality, I suppose. So on the right hand side was an album cover that I designed for somebody, and on the left hand side is good old Jimi Hendrix, and that was just a portrait I've done recently for somebody.
Okay.
So that's kind of my illustration side of things. And sculpture is something that I've found in the last 3-4 years. So I was a technician in a college in St. Albans, and they put me in the sculpture room. And I didn't know anything. I didn't practice sculpture, didn't really know that much about sculpture, but I've just fallen in love with it. It was just a complete chance. And so my sculpture, I use this material quite a lot called jesmonite. Jesmonite is kind of in between a resin and a plaster. It sets really fast, which is fantastic. It's really tough as well. And you could drop pigments in it to make really bold colors. So you don't lose any of the color whilst it's in the mix. It's a really strong pigmentation, and it's just a fantastic material to use. If you've never heard of it, I'd definitely suggest you take a little look.
What's this piece that you're showing us here?
So this was a piece I did for a clothing company. It's probably about yay big. And it's
that's the exact measure.
Yeah, and they wanted a big cube where that was eroded with stationery coming out of it. So this was the result of that conversation of what we had. So all my work, what I'll run through now, has erosion in it. It's kind of a technique that I stumbled across accidentally whilst experimenting with my molds. So I forced this kind of eroded effect onto my sculptures. And that's how the company that I've just shown you of the cubes, they got in touch with me because they wanted something similar for their piece. So you can see here with the pigments as well, this is dropping the pigments in the mix. It comes out really strong, really nice. So these are some sculptures that this is a series that I did a couple of years ago. So the mold making process, I use silicone. So you can see the pink stuff, that's the silicone. On the left hand side, that's the cast that's already been cast. And the white stuff on the outside is like the hard jacket. So there's two halves there. You've got rubber on either side, and then you've got a hard jacket. You encase it together, bolt it shut, and then you pour your material in. You let that set and then open it. And then on the left hand side, you can see the sculpture that's come out of it from there. So this is quite exciting actually, because it's a new series that's been launched in May, so no one's seen that. So it's a whole new series that I'm working on with somebody. But I just wanted to show you the image, I guess, so you can see the practical kind of ways of making a mold. So these are some sculptures that I made a couple of years ago that got exhibited. And at this point, I've gone into a different stage of investigation into my sculptures. So what this is I've kind of got a technique of my eroded sculptures, but then I've really kind of homed in on how to pour the mold, and I've poured it at a particular time just before it sets. And what that does is you have to time it perfectly. It's a nightmare sometimes. It only finds its way around some of the molds, so it gives you lots of negative shapes, but the form still comes out as a suggested form with all these eroded parts of it as well. And I'm just a little bit obsessed with it. Yeah. I think it's great, but yeah. So this is kind of what I'm doing at the moment. And
are all of these techniques that you're applying, were this like, do you self-taught this to yourself after that experience, like that
for sure
experience with sculptures?
Yeah, I so basically my whole thing is learning through mistakes. That's what teaches me, and that's how my work develops, and that's why I love mistakes and thinks that mistakes are really important. So this is mixing fabric with jesmonite as well. And what I like about this is you've got the softness of the fabric against the hardness and the toughness of the jesmonite. So these are some casts that I've done, and these are some pieces that were exhibited a couple of years ago. So in lockdown, when I was bored at home, I molded the chicken frozen dippers that are in the freezer and made my chicken dippers. So I've casted them in jesmonite and I've just spray painted them gold. And then on the right hand side is just an array of shoes, I guess, clustered together on a slab of concrete. You could probably tell that there's a urban theme that's always running through my work as well. It's heavily influenced through my skateboarding and my music that I like and my lifestyle and stuff, I suppose. My husband's a graffiti artist as well, so yeah, we love all that kind of thing. So this is Jesmonite. So it's a powder base and a liquid, and they get mixed together. They have a thermogenic reaction. So it heats up, and then as it cools, that's when it solidifies and becomes something different.
Do you have to put this in the oven? Do you have to?
No, not at all. You just mix it, pour it, and then it sets. And it sets really quickly as well, which is nice. And you can add additives to it. So you could prolong its setting time, or you can speed it up. So if you sped it up, you can literally mold it with your hands or paint it into sculptures that way. It's a fantastic product. I can't rave about it enough.
Are you getting a commission for this?
You think I would, wouldn't you? Okay, and then lastly, I just want to end with the It's Okay project. So this is a company that I founded after losing a loved one to suicide. And I guess it's just my grieving process of really struggling with losing somebody that I completely loved to suicide. I probably put brakes on my artwork quite a lot. I couldn't make anything myself. My head just wasn't in the space. I just couldn't engage. I couldn't think. I couldn't process anything. So what I did is I got a collection of other artists, and we put together a zine, and we displayed all the amazing creative things that are being made all over the world, and then put some stories in there of people's personal accounts of mental well-being struggles and whatnot. Put some interviews in there, and we made it to raise money for charity, and it sold out in 48 hours, and we couldn't believe it. And then from then on, people were asking when the next one was. So we're on zine 5 now, I think. So yeah, there's one out at the moment. So we're a not-for-profit, so now we sell our zines. They're £5. It goes back into the company, and our zines look like this, a mental health creative zine. But what we do then with the profits is obviously they help with printing costs, but they also help us fund workshops. So this is kind of what the zine looks like on the inside. So again, very urban, but we have a lot of artwork from people from all over the world, and we're just trying to be open and honest with how we feel, and our struggles, and also celebrating the things that we've been through and how we've come out on the other side. And we've had some famous people being interviewed in it as well, which is pretty cool. Yes, so zine 5's out at the moment. So the profits I do make, we donate to other community projects. So this is us donated some skateboards to a community centre in London that did skate lessons. And on the right hand side, this is Ray. She's one of our creatives who's we love to work with, and we really want to highlight the importance of everybody working together in the creative industry to make something just bigger and stronger. And we try and build like a little creative family, whether it's musicians, artists, poets, you know, anything. And yeah, so with the funds as well, it helps us buy materials for workshops. So this is
that you say these are like crafty workshops, like
yeah. So we do badge making workshops, and we do collage portraits. We've just done one recently in Manchester where we did kind of home in on the mental health aspect of it. So really talking about feelings and who we are, and things that are going on in our lives, but they don't always have to be so mental health focused. We also do workshops that are just creative, teaching creative methods as well. We have a trusty typewriter that you might see there on the right hand side. Everyone seems to go mad for the typewriter. They love it. So it's a lot of cutting, pasting, collaging. We've done screen printing. Oh, and that's it. And that's me. And that's my website. And that's my Instagram. So yeah, hopefully
Great.
that was okay. I was
Thank
really
you,
nervous.
Sara. No, that was great. Honestly, it's great to see the diversity of the work that you do. I also shared on the chat the It's Okay Project Instagram if you guys want to take a look and follow it, and yeah, just engage
Yeah,
with
brilliant.
what they do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Sara. Vivi saying awesome work. Thanks for sharing. So yeah, if you have any questions or something is resonating in you, just please feel free to drop it in the chat. Awesome. Great, Sara. Thank you so much. I have a couple of questions for you, but I'm going to save them till the end.
Do I stop sharing?
Yes, that'd be great.
Yes.
Thank you.
There we go.
All right. Thank you. And now we're gonna move on to hearing it from Annie Anthony Mays. I'm gonna give a little introduction, and then I'm gonna give the space to you, Annie. Annie is, even though she did study art, she describes herself as a self-taught artist. Annie's from Singapore, but she has been in the UK for around 40 years, she was telling me. She runs workshops as a volunteer for refugees, asylum seekers, and immigrants to break down barriers through painting and crafts. Annie experiments with different textures, different materials in her paintings, and she has been also engaging with sculptures. So yeah, Annie, thank you so much for being here today, and the space is yours. Oh, wait, you're muted. We cannot hear you. That's the daughter, the private assistant.
All right.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you for having me. All right. Where's my Where's your power? That way. Yep. Can you see everybody? No, we've not shared. Oh no. All right. So then just click that one.
Now we can see it. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Born in Singapore. Been in Sheffield almost 40 years. I think. And end of this month, just today, it'll be 40 years that I've been in Sheffield. So when I first came, 1983, I was actually painting a wallpaper. I remember doing that because I'm trying to occupy my time. And my husband was working as a teacher, and I was on my own. I didn't have any friends or anybody like that because I just came from Singapore to Sheffield, and I was really bored. So I was just painting a wallpaper, and it was like a pattern and flowers and everything. So from then on, I did some sculptures with teapots and mirrors and all sorts because I got bored. I was just smashing some mirrors in anger and all that. And then I went to Sheffield College and did an English course just to build my confidence. And then in the year 2000, I went to Sheffield Hallam University at Salter Lane, and I wanted to do art, but the art was mainly about theory instead of painting. And I said, I just want to do painting. And they said, no, it's all about theory. So I gave up that BA and I did media studies instead. So I did media studies. Where's my next one? Next slide. What do I do now?
You maybe on those arrows to your left. Yes.
All right. So I started doing some of these paintings, which is all very colorful. And also a long story, to cut a long story short, what can I say about this? So this is Fire Dancers, the first one. This is Fire Dancers. It's a lot of movement because I do a lot of running and I'm full of energy. So my art was all very explosive and very colorful. And that one, I was in the Sheffield Samba band. And that's like a group of people marching. You can't see it probably because it's only a small painting and it's colorful and very explosive. And I use a lot of pipes, wire pipes and things like that, and all sorts of acrylic and also lots of seeds as well. And this one is lots of seeds in here because I also do a lot of work in the allotment. So we got an allotment, and from the allotment, I collect lots of seeds, then I put onto the painting. So it makes it 3D. And this last one is, because I do a lot of climbing, so I did this painting, all the women climbing right to the top. And you can see all the figures there with some ropes. The next slide, I'm going to show you. Where is it, you see? I go to the next one again. Right. Oh, this one, yeah. So then, so in 2007, I was working for, in fact, I started in 1997 till 2007. I was working for Refugee Education Employment Program in Sheffield on Carroll Street. I finished my BA, so I became a careers advice and a guidance officer, and mainly working with refugees, asylum seekers, and migrants again, and supporting them. So, and also teaching ESOL. So I did this for about 10 years. And then what I did was, I did this painting with lots of sort of sequins and lots of glitter. I just want to make them cheerful, and they did a lot of artwork as well. That, you know, like sparks interest, and also it's all sparkly, shiny, and cheerful, because by listening to their stories, it's all like really sad. So in order, you know, to make them feel happy, I do more and more paintings like that. So that's the 3 slides I've got so far. So I'll just talk more about my artwork. So from 2007, I had a big solo exhibition at Devonshire Green. It's called the Forum, and I had an exhibition upstairs and downstairs. I must have put like 30 paintings, massive paintings. And then I did an opening in 2007, I think it was June 2007. But on the opening night at 4 a.m., a car came and crashed into Devonshire Green, and a lot of my paintings got burned. Somebody put petrol.
Oh my goodness.
No, seriously, I got burned. And I didn't know, I was working at refugee education at that time. Somebody told me 7 a.m. I was in the office. Someone said, your art was off in this place. There's police, there's ambulances, everything. And I ran there and I tried to rescue 1 or 2 paintings. And I rescued only 1 painting because it's got a glass frame. But most of the canvases got burned. So that was very upset. But then from there, I got onto Yorkshire Television, I got onto Radio Sheffield, Calendar News, everything about my art exhibition. So in a way, I got fame. So I told them, you know, at least I lost my painting, but I've not lost an arm or a leg. I can always paint again. So that's what I told them. So, and then one of that painting, the one in the glass frame, has not got destroyed because it's got glass and it's got proper frame. It's very thick. And that particular painting is the time to say every picture tells a story. So that picture actually got shown on television and in the Sheffield Telegraph and the Star, and somebody bought it for £500, so which is not bad. But my worst thing about the whole when the exhibition got burned, I wasn't insured. So that was terrible, because if I was insured, I would have got about £15,000. So that's a lesson. And I was quite naive, and I was quite new to the art world. Then from then, I just moved on. And so I thought I might as well do more art with refugees and asylum seekers. So I continued them. So I got involved with a Migration Matters Festival, which comes every year in Sheffield. And it's fantastic. It's always in June, during the Refugee Week. So we get a lot of refugees to show their artworks, paintings, and all. So it's a really good event, but I'll tell you more about it later, either in my email or you can look up for lots of advertising.
Annie, I just have a quick question, because I can see, actually, I have a presentation with a lot of your pictures.
Oh, yes.
You want me to share that? I will do that now.
Yeah. So come on from here. Oh, yeah, that's it. Go on.
1 second.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you want to tell us a little bit of the paintings that we're going to see, because I can see that you mentioned using seeds as well.
Yeah.
I was wondering, when did you start using seeds in your paintings? Because it's such an organic material, obviously, but it's not the go-to for everyone.
I think, well, using the seeds, you mean?
Yeah.
Using the seeds. Yeah, I think because I started working the allotment, my friend Claire Hughes, she's got allotment, and when her husband passed away, she asked my husband to help out in the allotment. So my husband and me went to help out in the allotment. So when I collected seeds, I thought this would be great to incorporate into my paintings. So that's what I've done, and also make it like more layers, more three-dimensional, and it sticks out. But I use PVA for every seed. But it was quite time-consuming, but really therapeutic. And then my sister, like this one is like, it's called tiger. You can see like a tiger flower older. And this is using mustard seeds, lentils, and whatever I could find in the kitchen, really.
A full meal in there.
Pardon?
A full meal.
A full meal, yeah. And when they dry, they look really good. Yeah. But that's also more. I use a lot of chilies, tomato seeds, mustard seeds. You can see also different seeds again. And some of them are not the paint that I just tried and I put PVA, because the white, the PVA stands out a lot. But there's a lot of pepper and chili seeds in there. Yeah. And this one is the one with the bee. This is from the allotment. And because also I did an exhibition called Art in the Allotment at the Manor, and I put a lot of paintings of all these flowers and all in between the flowers and the plants and the herbs, and it really works well. And that was featured in the Star and the Sheffield Calendar. And this one I did for my daughter because she bought a house, and it's number 14, so I've got 14 poppy flowers and all living seeds. So I gave her as a housewarming present. But it's all equal, and also got lots of forage oats and seeds. And this one is all about allotment. You can see all the different flowers that you grow. The green one, we grow lots of cabbages and all that, lettuce and all sorts. And then we grow even aubergines and tomatoes, and lots of cabbages. Yeah, purple cabbages. And this one is just acrylic. This one just acrylic and a bit of not PVA, gouache. Yeah, gouache. So I've got lots of them, but a lot of them are very colorful, very explosive. Yeah. And this one using seeds again, lots of. I sold this one first like a sunflower seed, and I did this. Sold this in the Black History Month. Yeah, so I sold it in the Black History Month. This Ukrainian girl came. She said, "I love it." I said, "Oh, just pay what you can afford." So I just sold it 20 pounds. It's all right, but it took me like I don't know how many hours, so it doesn't matter. But because she wanted it, I thought, I might as well sell it to somebody who loves it. So a lot of my paintings. This one is also very like 3D again, but this one using a lot of like a bit of tarmac, black tarmac. I use tarmac to make it three-dimensional. And this is like my husband said, "Calm down, my dear," because I've got so much of energy, and so I have to do something like waves, calm down me a bit. It's the title. And this one is just another 3D dimension that I use, but I use a lot of cutting out papers and gluing it. Cutting up papers and gluing it, and a bit of sort of hair like with wires and little strings and all with PVA. So it's looking in three-dimensional again. Yeah. This one is a welcome. This is like I've got. In fact, it's a lot bigger than this. This is like 72 languages, all just saying welcome. And I've got another of these in the city of Sanctuary in the basement, also with all the refugees and asylum seekers and migrants saying welcome in their own languages, and I donated it to them. So some of the paintings I just donate to charity organizations because it's nice for them to see. This one is also, this is Jackson Pollock cells. I pour a lot of paint and all, drip and splash, and I've got a few of these, and I tell you, it's very, very satisfying when you're angry. Really satisfying. Just keep throwing the paint, and then the next day you see that they just like form different layers, and you can continue to put different layers. You can even throw tea bags, coffee grains, anything you want, and it really works. It's so calm. After you've done it, it's just relieve everything, all your anger, frustrations, all gone into the painting. Same again. This is Justin Paula again, drip and splash, just putting paint and just letting it drip. Yeah. So I've got lots of these actually. They're really big actually. Quite big. This is a poppy, but you can see I put all the poppy seeds as well, and the little heads is a three-dimensional again. And this I did for the poppy appeal, and I donated it to the charity again. So I've done a lot of charity work actually.
Where can people find your work, Annie? I mean,
it is in Facebook, but I'm not very good at Instagram. This page is all about, because I do a lot of running. And I'm also a member of a female group of runners called Femme Vital. They are really fit. And They are all like so skinny and wiry, and I'm the shortest and the fattest in the club. But they're running up the hill. Yeah. And this one is I did this painting with acrylic and ink only because when I did my DNA, because my husband did one, I did one. When I did my DNA, they said I've got some South Pacific and Aboriginal blood in me. So like 5%. So, and I do a lot of dot painting because I think I've got a bit of African, Indian or whatever. So I started this one. So it's just an abstract art piece. Yeah. So this one is just behind in my dining room.
I was gonna say, is that the one that's behind you?
Yeah, and this is all incorporating. I had a silk skirt, and I thought I'm not going to wear this, but I saw the flowers, so I cut over the flowers and put the flowers in between. And I'm also a member of Netherlands Art Club, and the theme was like painting flowers in the garden. So I thought I'm wearing silk skirt, I might as well cut it and put it on the painting. So that's what I've done. So it's like textiles, lots of seeds and little leaves and branches and twigs and all. So it's very, very three-dimensional, and I put it for the exhibition for Netherlands.
Would you consider this to be a painting, or would you consider this to be like a collage?
No, it's called mixed media.
Mm-hmm.
Mixing it. You got textiles, you got twigs, you got painting. So when you enter like I get involved art in the gardens every September, I enter. So when you put this, you so identify it as a mixed media because you're mixing a lot of stuff in it. Yeah. But it can some perfect collage. This one is a very interesting painting because I'm also a fan of. Have you heard of the artist called Grayson Perry? Have you heard of the artist called?
I can see that Sara is saying yes. I don't.
That way. Grayson Perry. This is like during the lockdown. He had lots of series in the television to enter competitions. So I entered lots of competitions. So because during the lockdown. So this title is called We're All Going Bananas. So this one is actually lots of banana skins in it, proper banana skins. I dry them up, put onto PVA and put them. And Grayson Perry loved it. So I got a phone call from them that they want to come interview me, but I was away, so I couldn't go on the television program. So I've entered like every few months. I enter an exhibition. Or painting or artwork. Yeah. This is all mixture again or something. And I sold the first one, that one I sold at Netherlands Art Festival. These two, somebody wanted to buy it, but not yet. And this is all Aboriginal artwork again. And that one is going bananas. Yeah, we're all going bananas. I entered that for the botanical garden. This one I did at Netherlands Art Club. This is like, you're using ink and then you blow the pipe like a little straw. Mm-hmm. And this is like a pottery. So it's a white pottery. So you put ink and paint and then you blow it and then you get all this effect. So I've still got it. So it's really rewarding to do it in a way. It's enjoyable and fun. This one is all about diversity. This took me a while to do it, and also same piece. I think during the Iraq War, and I did this painting, and this like 12 years ago. So what I did, I presented this painting to the city of Sanctuary, and still got the original painting. But I've got lots of prints, so I sold lots of prints, and also gave a lot of these prints as Christmas prints to lots of people. So a lot of people got this as a print in their house. And also, if you see, you've got the mosque, you've got the church, you've got the temple, all the different cultures coming together. Yeah, so this is all about culture. And this one, I did this, well, I was organizing an art exhibition last year or year before, part of the Ukraine war. So it's all art for Ukraine. So I've got lots of planning included. That's kind of the fantastic piece, though. Penny is also member of the Netherlands Art Club. So we all contributed a painting each and did some group artworks, and it's all to raise money for Ukraine. And we raised £2,500 already. And all these two artists just donating their piece of artwork. And then it started in April, but it went on and on and on because the exhibition just goes on for a while. Because I wanted everybody to see this was actually, it was such a successful fundraising event. And this one I did last year. I think I did it the year before. This is like focusing on climate change, but I also did it as a Christmas card. And as a Christmas card, I still got the original. So it's all about climate change, about looking at plastic waste and everything. Then I put in the middle, I put about Christmas. I said we can this Christmas something. I just thought I incorporate the package bird in there. But this is lots of layers of materials and lots of, this is called mixed media again, because lots of things from the magazines, newspapers, and I'll put together. But I've still got it, but I wanted to give it for the climate change organization. But the person that runs it passed away, so it's still in the process. So that's it. And this one was, we got funding, got £1,500 for the allotment funding. And this is at Kenwood Hall allotment because I'm a member there. So that's why we said, so they gave up some flowers and gave us a big check. And I'm still involved, but Kenwood Hall allotment is all gone now because they could do make some flats instead. So there's no more allotments. We're just going to create flats. So we will fundraising, but we got some money. So that's it.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Thank you, Annie. That was great seeing all the different materials that you used in your work. It was very creative in that sense. Thank
you.
I have a couple of questions, but I don't know if anyone from the audience has something that they would like to ask either Sara or Annie or both of them. Because if you do, please go ahead, pop it in the chat, or you can even ask them yourself. While you think of your questions, I have a question for you, Sara. Because you mentioned, well, I know that you have a degree on fine arts, and then you sort of moved away from that and started experimenting with different themes. How do you find that? Is there even? I don't know. I'm asking. Do you find a link between your fine arts preparation, right? Because you studied fine arts. Do you find a link? Or how do you move away from that into exploring street culture through your work? Because some might say those are like complete opposites.
Yeah, I found it actually really difficult when I was at university to bring things that I liked into the curriculum, really, and for it to be a serious piece of artwork rather than, I don't know, something that wasn't. I don't know if it's misunderstood or it just wasn't taken seriously, but I really struggled with that aspect at university. And for my degree show, I actually built a life-size billboard in the venue, and I did layers of kind of peeled posters and papers that formed a face, and that was kind of, it was almost like I was trying to make my art sensible, which really at the end of the day, I was a little bit lost with my practice at that time. It took me years to kind of develop it, but yeah, I guess I was a little bit lost for a while, and trying to understand what it was about street culture that I liked so much and how I could incorporate that into my artwork. But then you have things like skateboard graphics, the artists, the artwork on there, but massively like the punk era and the zine and the DIY culture is kind of what I've homed into now, and I've found that space. And I think it was when I started skateboarding as an adult and kind of found new friends and was in that environment that it's really become a strong, well-worked aspect of my artwork, I think, where a bit before I was all over the place.
Yeah, thank you. Annie, I have a question for you. How do you find it? How do you find Sheffield's landscape in regards to female artists when you first arrived here? Because you've been here, so maybe you've seen a transformation in the way people are networking or in the initiatives that they're coming up with. How do you find that?
I know, I think when I first came, it was very, very difficult because even though I was doing some artwork, it's like trying to get into, just like trying to get into an art club. I felt nervous. Even though the art exhibitions, I felt nervous because like everything is so white middle class. So I thought the only way to get into it is just force myself to join an art group. So I joined Walkley Edge Artists, which I'm still a member in Walkley because I had my studio in Walkley. So I qualified as an artist in Walkley. So I'm still a member, even though I came out of it, but I thought I'd continue. And they also got a fantastic sort of beaches where you can sell your art. So a lot of my paintings are made into cards and sell that. But it's like networking again, and it's like forcing myself to get into these clubs and to know people, and also asking around, and also like the more. Then I joined the TV art club as well, and I joined Netherlands art club. It's like, but it's not, when you join art club, you get to know the other artists, and it's like word of mouth, and like I'll tell them, oh, there is an art event coming in 2 months time, you better enter. So people all giving like, like telling you information. I think that's what I had to do to get into it. But Sheffield landscape, I mean, I'm going to a allotment estate that is fantastic, all the greenery, the trees, and then I got to know other artists through the allotment, through art groups, and also lots of it's the word of mouth to me. Not a lot on social media, even though I did media studies.
It's hard though. Like I think one of the things that we've been talking about with the other artists is how difficult it is to sort of try and position yourself through social media to get your work out there, given that it's a free resource, right? Is what we have at hand, especially because I know that a lot of the artists that we've been talking to, they have like part-time jobs, and then on their free time, they try to keep working on that creative side.
It's never changing though, isn't it? Social media, with all these algorithms and whatever that I don't even understand. And sometimes it's really hard just to be consistent. They're saying post a picture a day. I haven't got a picture to post every single day. It's ridiculous. And if you kind of, the more you post, the more you appear on people's feeds and stuff. And it's not fair. It's not fair. And now they're saying videos instead of still images are better. And you're just like, oh God, whatever.
And it's another, like, I think it's another skill that one needs to learn, because like I'm terrible at making reels, but now it seems like online it's all about the videos. And I understand what you're saying. And in that regards, I wanted to ask you, Sara and Annie, how do you get your work out there? How have you managed to break that barrier and just try and gain some visibility? Have you been using social media? How do you do that? Either one.
Go on, Sara.
So I use social media quite a lot, but more so word of mouth, speaking to people. And I think once you've created one thing and other people see that thing that you've created, it just spans on and on and on, and then people are coming to you for more commissions or asking for props or help or in some aspects. I think the more people you meet, the easier it just becomes to work, I think. And I guess with lockdown, we were all forced to talk online and communicate online because we couldn't in person. So that posed some different issues then, but I learned a lot about social media in lockdown. That was a good thing.
Do you think you improved your social media skills during lockdown?
Yes. And my presence on social media was a lot more in lockdown, and I got more followers and there was more engagement because everyone else was sat at home too. So
How about you, Annie? How have you addressed this?
Mine is all because I'm 65 years old now. I'm not like 30 years younger than my daughter or their friends. They all use social media a lot, Instagram and all that, on Facebook. I use Facebook and I use like emails and WhatsApp, but most of it is through word of mouth. And because I've lived here like 40 years, I go to different places. I say, oh, I've got exhibitions coming, what, or do a little flyer, or and keep them hand in hand, So it's a lot of hard work, but it does work. If I've got an exhibition, like I'm organizing an exhibition like 40 years of my life in this country, and I'm going to make a flyer or a poster and then send it to all the people that I know. Then we'll have a big party. Party is good.
Hey.
So everyone here can expect to receive an invite.
Yes, definitely. And you go to parties and through word of mouth, say, I'm an exhibition coming, just give me a little leaflet or whatever. And it works that way.
Mm.
Yeah. And a free drink, that works.
That's
Hey.
great. That's great. I was gonna ask, what's coming for the both of you? Do you have any projects that you're showcasing somewhere? Do you have anything exhibited at a venue? If you can also like share with us your projects for the future.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've got one that coming for the 40 years one. And also there's Refugee Week in June, Migration Methods Festival in June. There's a lot of things and art in the gardens. Oh yeah. And the other one I want to say is the open one. This one. This is a really good one. It's called Open Art. This is where all the artists open their studios and people come and see their artwork and buy their cards and their paints and their prints. And I wanted to enter, but I was too late because I was abroad. And that's like a deadline. So I should enter like in January. But I'm helping my friend. She's a role model. I told you, 87 years old, Claire Hughes. She lives at Botanical Road. So I'm going to help her set up an exhibition in number 22. That's in end of May. Yeah, end of April, beginning of May. So this is really good.
Open up Sheffield Art Studios. So
That's
yeah,
right,
take
yeah.
notes.
So it's a really
Go
good
check that out.
place for all the artists to go and see where other artists are working and networking. That's brilliant.
For networking, exactly, because
Yeah,
one of the things that
exactly.
we've seen that's really important to get to push your work forward is networking, right?
Of course.
Meeting people. So obviously these kinds of events
Yes.
seem to be very helpful.
I'm going to go to that one, I think. I need to meet more artists in Sheffield. We've only been here about 12 months, so I'm like
Oh,
eager to meet everybody and just
yeah,
learn about artists in Sheffield. But yeah,
that would
so
be good, man.
hey, we'll have to meet up and have a cup of tea.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've got a painting in Sheffield Town Hall at the minute that's part of the Always an Alternative. It's a knife crime exhibition. So there's documentaries on there of people that have been affected by knife crime. There's also art from all different artists and schools where children have kind of discussed the project and come up with a piece of artwork. So Always an Alternative, a Sheffield-based company that are constantly campaigning about and trying to educate the youth about knife crime. So they go into schools and do talks and whatnot. It's just a fantastic project that I wanted to be a part of and fully support. So they asked me to do a painting in response to some knife crime statistics. So I did that and the painting's there. And it's there till Sunday. It closes on Monday. They're taking it down. So it's just right at the entrance of Sheffield Town Hall. Go in and it's just there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're looking for something to do this weekend, there's this exhibition.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just want to thank you both, Sarah and Annie, for sharing your work, for giving us your time, and for also sharing with us a little bit of the tips that you've been giving away. Before we go, quick question for the both of you: is there any advice that you would have given yourselves when you were starting in this
tough one,
in this dimension of the arts? Think about it. I know it's hard, but is there anything that you would have said yourself to yourselves back then?
Yeah, I wish I went to, when I first came to this country, like go to a proper art college, like Chesterfield Art College or some college where I can just like do a lot of drawing, painting, and also like get to know other people. I went to Salsdale Lane, but it's all about theory of art. I wanted to do painting, and I was quite disappointed. But I wish I did something at that. It's like now 40 years that I'm starting all over again. Yeah. And also maybe even do like more like a presentation, because the PowerPoint and things like that. So I can do more to other people as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Annie. How about you, Sari?
It's a tough one. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I guess it's hard because I feel like everything on my journey has kind of happened at the right time. So when I studied fine art, I was pregnant in my last year and had my first child. So then I took a lot of time out with my kids. And then it wasn't till about 10 years after I did my MA because I had time then and I was able to. So, but maybe have more sketchbooks and draw more. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Experiment more with things that, I don't know, maybe I wasn't so confident with.
Well, it's the confidence that you gain through practice, right? You gain
Oh, God,
confidence
yeah.
through practice and through like just putting your work out there. Because one of the things also that have been mentioned in this series of conversation is how important it is that even though you're a bit afraid of, or a bit unsure about the quality of your work, you need to just put it out there. You need to get that feedback. You need to step out of your comfort zone. And
Today we're stepping out of my comfort zone coming on here because I was terrified.
Annie was terrified as well. She was like, oh, I'm a bit nervous.
Oh, no.
So yeah, no, honestly, thank you both so much. I can also see Pani here. I can see Vivi that were in the previous conversation. So thank you so much to all of you. I hope you get
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
I hope you get to connect and to know each other through the the space that we've created here. I left a little evaluation form for all the participants there. If you wanna just give us feedback so that we can carry on holding this kind of spaces. Once again, many thanks to both of you, Sara and Annie, and hope to hear from you soon.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invite. Take care. Bye.
Bye.